Oh, come on. Summer only lasts so long. Give me some rain. Various disasters can happen in summer, so you better watch the weather forecast every day. Oh, okay, I'll hold the kid. Oh boy. I mean, with the good luck charm there, we actually don't have a chance of any disasters during the summer. At all. So we're not gonna really have that as an issue. Anyways, hey there everybody, and welcome back to more Harvest Moon SNES. I only really do a big intro for these every once in a while, because I always open up with checking the weather. And for some reason, in my brain, that connects as an intro. I think there's only been once or twice I haven't checked the weather in-game. I'm glad there's no chance of hurricanes this season. That would be incredibly detrimental. What are you doing over there, KC? I also don't really check the money that I have anymore because I earn exactly 2,100 G a day. And I don't really do much else with it. I don't spend money anymore. I don't actually need to dump this anymore either. I could just start throwing away the money. Man, if only I was that rich. I mean, I am that rich virtually. I am in Pikmin as well. I'm playing through a ROM hack of... well, is it a ROM hack? A mod? Whatever. I'm playing through Pikmin 2. A modded version of it. It's really fun. It makes me feel incredibly nostalgic. I'm in the final area of it right now. I am recording it also for my channel. It's going to be a long play. It's not a game I plan on playing through in the future. I just really like that ROM hack, or mod, and I kept playing it. I'm at a point where I just kind of record every game I play, even if there's no commentary. Because there might be a point in the future where in which I can't do the commentary as much, but I still want to do YouTube videos. I mean, I've got the editing software and the equipment for it and everything, so it just makes sense. Also, I have a very fun time doing it as a hobby. And it gives me a chance to play games. An excuse to play games, really. It also helps a lot with game development. I play a lot of games, I know what they're made of, I know what to do and what not to do, because sometimes I play really crap games. I've never played Ride to Hell Retribution, but I've seen so many things on it I don't really need to. Because that's one of the most notoriously bad games in existence. I'm not counting Sonic 06 in that, even though it's really, really, really bad. Every YouTuber and their mom has done something on it. It's just that Sonic 06 actually does have the skeleton of what could be a good game. It's just implemented incredibly poorly. Sincerely, Sonic 06 was just done so poorly. It's a shame because it could have been an amazing game. That skeleton for a really good game is there. And I think there's a fan game of it online. Or a remake or a remaster or a port to PC or something like that where they're fixing all of those issues. Or at least Most of them. And I think that's really cool. I absolutely cannot wait to be able to play that when it's complete. Because I don't want to play it before it's complete. That was what was wrong with Sonic 06 in the first place. On the subject of incomplete games releasing, though, there's a lot of really just incomplete games coming out that never end up releasing their full content these days. God, I feel like an old man saying that, but I do miss the time period in which games came out and they were either complete or they were just not good. The digital age of updates is amazing, but at the same time it's a curse because you can just release a really bad game and people will be like, give it time. It might be good. Or they'll immediately think it's great, even when it's really chunky. Like Cyberpunk. I wanted to do a review of Cyberpunk at one point, but I just couldn't bring myself to actually play the game. It just wasn't good. Now, there are worse games out there, but when you go and give the statement of, at least it's not X, you're just admitting the game is really bad, and you can't and you can only think of it being worse. I think I talked with people recently about that being the problem with games like Sonic, because a lot of fans will go, oh hey, at least it's not Sonic 06. And you're right, at least it's not Sonic 06, but you know what it could be? A good game. That being said, I am playing one of the worst translated Harvest Moon games out there, so who knows? Hey, this was a big part of my childhood. It's a really good game, and it's a... You gotta remember, it's the first ever farming sim. It's the first ever of its genre. And people didn't think it would succeed. That's why essentially... I can't say essentially. That's why a very small group of people ended up making this game at all. And if I remember correctly, there was a bunch of crunch with the game too. I think it's a miracle we got a game as complete as it is that got a bunch of follow-ups that just further improved upon the formula. I think up until the creator left the series, and I don't mean left the company, I mean left the series, because there was a point where in which he wasn't a part of the games being made anymore at all. And that makes me sad. But there was that one game he made, Hometown Story, that was really good, and he's made a bunch of other good games that achieve moderate levels of success, but nothing like Harvest Moon. It's kind of a shame it was taken from him. 5 o'clock now, gonna have a good day. 262,300 G. There were also characters that I remember specifically, and I've talked about it before. And I know it, I'm sure of it now, because I've seen it again. But there was also an older Harvest Moon game that got made without the creator's knowledge, and had characters in it that he didn't want, or something like that. For all I know, it was actually Back to Nature, the PS1 version of Harvest Moon 64. And I'm saying the PS1 version of it because I know they're entirely different games, but they use all these same assets, really. Some things are moved around here and there, but it's almost the exact same. It's distractingly so, too. I'm not gonna say that for the Game Boy and Game Boy Color port of this game, because of course they're almost the exact same. They're ports of the same game. Ports don't really qualify under that. Unless they have, like, huge, significant differences, but I think the only big difference is you can farm in the winter now, and in the fall. Also, wait, there's another one. It's, how you purchase animals, I believe? But that's beside the point. Well, not how you purchase animals, how the process to getting the right to purchase them is different. They really milked the Game Boy for all it could do. I wish they added a bunch more improvements to the Game Boy Color version other than a, honestly, better OST and better graphical appearance, but here we are. Come on. Now, Harvest Moon 2 for the Game Boy Color is a lot better. Harvest Moon 3 for the Game Boy Color is like the peak of Game Boy Color games. Well, for the Harvest Moon series anyways. And it should be. It was the best of them. I kind of feel like sometimes it's a little too loaded with content, if you catch what I mean. But at the same time, it's also shorter than the second game. At least it is from my memory. It has a lot more going for it and a lot less in it. It doesn't feel like bloat, I guess is what I'm saying. There's no feature creeper content, which means there's not too much content. And none of it's well made. It's all focused in one area. Overall, very good port. I almost said, why port? No, very good game. Very good original game. Only the first one's a port. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Harvest Moon 3 Game Boy Color came out after Harvest Moon 64. That feels really weird when I say it aloud. But yeah, I think that is how that happened. Harvest Moon 64 is such a good game, though. There's a lot of necessary adjustments made. A lot of improvements on this formula. NPCs don't feel like they're cycling the same dialogue options over and over again. There's a bit more, but sometimes it still happens. From my understanding, these aren't very expensive games to make. I mean, they're more expensive than Cooking Mama by a long shot, but you know. Isn't every Cooking Mama game essentially the same as another one? You could just buy one Cooking Mama game and they would all play almost the same with a few minigames difference. That was always my impression of the series. They don't look like fun games to me. They don't look like fun at all. But I suppose that's the joy of a casual audience. A more casual audience will find a Cooking Mama game much more fun than I would. Then again, a lot of these games are also very similar to each other, so I guess it's a pick your poison kind of thing. What suits your fancy? Now, of course, I prefer the classic 2D Harvest Moons and a few of the DS Harvest Moons, but I also really like the early PS2 and GameCube era ones, because not everything was a giant pastel, I guess, friendly hellscape. Why is everything in modern Harvest Moon games so pastel? Like, the color scheme could be better. But I understand it gives off those friendly vibes that everyone's there for. Ah, corn, the life-giving nectar of the gods. I don't remember, actually. Is there another game, well, is there a game in the Harvest Moon series where you can go peas? Like, or green beans, actually. Some classic legumes. I don't remember if there are. At all. I feel like there should be, but I don't remember. There we go. Good weather tomorrow, I suppose. I'd much prefer if it rained. I'd love for a Harvest Moon game to have, you know, I'd love for a Harvest Moon game to have the same kind of sprite work as Stardew Valley. It's a different kind of game, but it works. Then again, Stardew Valley is more a refinement of the classic Harvest Moon experience rather than a brand new thing for itself. It's what everyone wishes for and everything like that. I wonder if Stardew Valley could have been demade for the Super Nintendo. That would have been cool. I can't imagine it would be easy to demake for the Super Nintendo because of, well, what it is. It's a game that uses a lot of modern stylings to be what it is and everything. It just wouldn't port very well. Even Shovel Knight had to give some leeway to modern accessibility and quality of life improvements that would make it unplayable on the Nintendo Entertainment System. The music is one of them, I believe. They don't all fit for what a for what a NES could do. I almost said a Super Nintendo. I always find those little tiny tidbits fascinating because, well, I work in development now, and also just because it's really neat. I remember back in the day seeing the completionist do a run of Shovel Knight, and he mentioned that everything could be run on an NES, I think, and that's just not true. It would need to be further demade. It kinda makes me want to play DuckTales on the NES. Oh, or the remake. I think I have that on Wii U. The DuckTales remake is really good. God, that's another classic game. Actually, did it come out on the NES or Super Nintendo? I think it came out on both, but I don't remember if it was good on the Super Nintendo. I know it also came out on the Game Boy, but no one talks about the Game Boy version, and that's for the best. The Game Boy version of DuckTales is adequate. That would be a good description, I suppose. It's very not fun, in my opinion. It's a pretty fun Game Boy game, though. I'll give them that. Why do I keep going up? Right, it's to give this to Maria, but no. I go visit Anne now. I don't take gifts to Maria anymore. Alright, grab some more egg. Hug the dog. And now let's go back and visit Anne. Ah, one more egg. And that'll be actually it for the day. God, it feels weird. You know, if I ever did play Harvest Moon on the Game Boy Color, in any format whatsoever, I would have to pick the cat as my pet, because cats are truly man's best friend. Don't try and prove me wrong, I prefer cats. Cats are great. They're also not particularly pushy. Either cats or small dogs. I much prefer small dogs to big dogs. I really like Chihuahuas, but I've mentioned it many times on this channel, you don't ever get another Chihuahua to pair with your existing Chihuahua. They're pack animals. They will become aggressive towards you at some point, in some regards. They're otherwise really friendly animals. And they generally pick a human to bond with for life. Well, for their lives. They're incredibly loyal to that one singular individual. And now, in Harvest Moon, for whatever you get a dog. A Chihuahua, I don't know. Harvest Moon for PlayStation 6. Made by Natsume. Now, with more microtransactions. Oh, that's terrible. Ugh. Alright, put that there. Stable. No, I'm not. Lots of those. Okay. Wednesday, 6th of summer, 10 o'clock. Oh, that's it. Thank you all for watching. If you like my stuff, like, comment, subscribe. Check my Patreon, Coffee, and Twitter in the description below if you want to support my channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow for more. Bye.